how do you go from being an inconsistent dropshipper to running a proper e-commerce brand? That's a question which most dropshippers ask themselves after making some little money here and there. Now keep in mind, most dropshippers don't even ever make money. The ones who do though end up making it very inconsistently and are not able to make money every single month on like a few year basis. So how do you actually get there? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover here. As a dropshipper, even if you make your first 100K, usually you're only going to have one traffic source. Mostly it's going to be either organic or paid ads or whatever you basically do. You basically make your first 100K from only one traffic source. You have a store which you never properly split test, like you already start making money, but you don't know what the best offer is. It works and that's why you leave it like it is, but you never change a bunch of things. You didn't test like a bunch of first pictures. You didn't test a bunch of prices. You didn't test a bunch of different offers, different upsells, different copies. You basically have a store which is working and that's it. And then also you have a lifetime value, which is the exact same as your average order value, which means that people don't buy multiple times from you. AOV is something which can be always optimized, but also LTV is a thing which is underutilized by most people. Like if somebody buys from you and they actually have a great experience, there's nothing speaking against them buying again. However, mostly they don't have a great experience, and you're not trying hard enough to sell them again after they already bought from you. How can we actually eliminate all these things and do things properly? Well, the first thing you need is a team. If you made some money with dropshipping, you just have to start hiring people. There are 4 important hires which you need to do in the beginning, and then later on you're going to have another couple which are super crucial but just a little bit more advanced. Very first of all, you need an editor. Especially if you're running paid ads, you have to have an editor because you have to have a process in place where you basically have a shit ton of creatives being tested without you putting in a crazy amount of work. And also, if you're doing organic, you need creators, okay? You literally need people who can replace you. You need people who are going to just create content for you. With organic, if you already made money, you obviously have a decent account. But the problem is that you have to keep coming up with new content ideas and you have to keep posting great content to keep making money. However, a creator can literally just take over your account if the creator is good enough. So you must have that as well. Then you have to have a product research VA who just keeps flooding you with really good products. And you have to have store creator A/B tests. All right. You basically have to have a person who's evaluating all these things and checking what is good, what is doing better, what is doing worse, and making sure that we're just progressing over time. Now, keep in mind, all these things just need to be done on a consistent basis. And the problem is, if you start making money, usually you're going to slack on most of them. You're going to be able to do one of them. And if you basically focus a lot on creating good videos, you're going to forget about product research and you're going to forget about all the split tests, and you're not going to be able to do everything at the same time. And that's why you need a second person who's going to take over all of this. Now, keep in mind, if you're just doing dropshipping by yourself, these people are very, very difficult to find because it's not that easy to find a good editor who's not only capable, but also doesn't need ridiculous amounts of training until he's going to become good for a dropshipper. Dropshipping's videos are very different than other people's videos. And you're also going to see that, for example, a lot of people who are really, really good at organic, their skill is not going to transfer one-to-one to making perfect creatives on Facebook. It's just different. Now, what I have seen is the best people to hire are dropshippers. This is a very controversial thing, but in reality, a VA from Fiverr is always going to do a worse job at product research than a dropshipper who has a decent fundamental understanding of what needs to be done. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a ridiculously high-level million-dollar entrepreneur who's crushing it with dropshipping. Just a basic dropshipper already understands what you need to be looking out for. They understand what the goal is and all these things which a VA on Fiverr just doesn't get. They don't even have the concept in their head what a good product could even be. The same thing with videos. So the advantage, for example, in our program is I have literally worked with thousands of dropshippers. I know a bunch. And for example, if you are in my program, you instantly have the entire pool of my students for you. What this means is that I have a bunch of students which live in countries which are extremely underpaid. Argentina, Thailand, like places where $10 an hour is more than enough to live a really comfortable life. These people run their dropshipping stores, but they're still more than happy to help you out with your stuff for like $10, $20 an hour. And this means that you can literally get access to really good dropshippers who are going to be able to do things for you on a consistent basis forever if you're just in the program. That's literally a value prop which you're not going to get anywhere else. And it's very difficult to find amazing team members if you're just searching by yourself. When I started hiring dropshippers, my life changed. Literally everything started changing because a dropshipper just gets it. They understand what you want, and it's so much easier to teach them everything. And literally in a matter of a week, they're going to be able to overtake your work and do it equally as good as you. Now, even though these are very, very important tasks, this here is the most important. How do you get your traffic? And this is something which you're going to need to learn. You're not going to need to learn all of them, but you're going to have to be specialized on a few. Just organic is not enough. Just TikTok or Facebook ads is usually not enough. You have to make sure that you actually have a few things covered at the same time. And basically we have organic, Spark ads, TikTok ads, Facebook ads, influencer marketing, theme pages, and Google search ads. And obviously, depending on your stage, you're going to have to pick which one is the best for you. With organic, obviously, this is by far the best way to go for beginners and intermediate people. If you already have a really good organic store running, don't get me wrong, don't just stop doing organic, but also cycle in one of these things at least. Either Spark ads, TikTok ads, Facebook ads, influencer marketing, one of those things you need to layer into your business to just ensure that you are going to be consistent for a long time. Because with organic, everybody knows there are ups and downs. Now, don't get me wrong, you can also make a bunch of money with organic only, but it's going to be much simpler if you sprinkle in some of these. Especially what I've seen is Google search ads and retargeting ads work really well with organic. And if you think about it, what happens if you're running an organic brand is basically you only get the low-hanging fruits. People who watch your video, then go onto your store and then buy, you basically sell. If somebody watches your video, goes to the store, and then something happens, their internet connection breaks up, or they just don't want to enter their credit details yet because they're not 100% sure if they want the product, or just something goes wrong, you basically don't target them ever again. The only way to do that is by targeting them with the same account and hoping that they're going to see you on their recommended page again. But you cannot only rely on that. You definitely have to sprinkle in ads in terms of retargeting. So everybody who visited your dropshipping store, you need to just retarget with Facebook ads, with TikTok ads, and with Google search ads. A lot of the people who went on your store think about the product, and then a few days later, they just search it up and buy it off Amazon or buy it off Google. And this is a place where you're going to lose out so much money just because you don't have a Google search campaign up. And usually, as a dropshipper, your SEO is not going to be super high. So even if they remember your store name, they're going to search up something along the lines of your product or of your store. They're most likely not even going to see your store. And then you're basically going to lose the customer once and for all. So for example, how you can avoid this is by just adding a Google search campaign. The top result on Google is always a search campaign. And the cool thing about it is you only pay per click. So it means that only a person who searched up your brand and then clicked on your store, only for that, you actually pay Google, which is basically making it instantly profitable. And we see 10, 20% conversion rates with these kind of things. Because if somebody already searches up your brand, they're going to buy most likely. This is something which is super powerful. This is just one part of making a real brand. There's a bunch of other things like Facebook ads or TikTok ads, and especially influencer marketing, something which is super underutilized. Think about this. You're an organic dropshipper who made some money. You know which videos converted the best. You know which ones didn't convert, and you know which ones also went viral, which ones didn't. You can literally tell what influencer makes content which is going to be similar to yours. You're literally going to be able to just give them that concept of the video and tell them, hey, just replicate exactly what I did here. This is my highest converting video. Replicate this. I'm going to pay you a few $100s and then post it on your page. Most likely, if they're going to do it right, they're not only going to go viral, but they're going to convert like crazy. Because influencers have a 10 times higher trust factor than you. The amount of people who trust random pages on TikTok or Instagram is so much less than somebody who trusts a real person on Instagram. A real person like Joe Rogan or Huberman, obviously these are huge examples, but on a smaller scales, you have a person which you actually trust, which you like, which you know he's not going to scam you. And you just use the trust of their audience to buy from your store. This is how most influencers make their money. They just leverage their audience to work with brands and basically make these brand deals. There's a reason why before every podcast ever, you're going to see some ads of random brands. This is a really common thing, but for some reason, no dropshipper ever utilizes it. And what we have in our program is we have experts in every single field. So it doesn't matter if you want to learn organic or Spark ads or TikTok ads or Facebook ads. These things can be actually very difficult to implement in terms of like technical setups, and you don't know how to run a Google search campaign, and you don't know what to optimize it for and what the little tricks are and the nuances. We have literally people in the team in every single area here who made anywhere between 6 and 7 figures with every single one of these methods. You're literally going to be able to plug in experts from our team into your business and don't have to learn everything by yourself. Learning Facebook ads or influencer marketing can be tough, and you're going to burn so much money if you test 30 influencers who all sucked until you figure out how to actually work with them. And most likely you're going to just think, all right, influencer marketing generally doesn't work. Let me just stop. This is not how it works. You need to have a proven system with everything and then just do that until it works. And if you do, you're going to make every of these methods work really, really well. I want to tell you one thing, honestly. These are all things where you shouldn't just outsource it to an agency. I would not recommend it at all to just find a random guy who does all the Facebook ads for you or does all the organic for you if you are running Facebook ads. This is not how you should be doing it. Usually you're not going to be able to tell if they're good or if they're bad, and you should definitely learn the strategy by yourself before you hire somebody to do anything for you. And that's why in this area, we're not going to connect you with a person who's just going to do it for you, but you're going to be able to have calls with mentors who are just going to tell you what to do and make sure you're doing things right, and check in with the metrics constantly and check in, okay, what do we change? Which ad sets do we kill? What do we scale? All these things, which you basically are going to learn over time with help from an expert. Now, the next thing is your store. There's a bunch of things you always need to test with your store. And keep in mind, all of the things I'm going to mention here, it's not enough if you just test this once. If you sell your product for $50 and then you watch this video and I'm basically telling you to split test the price, and you're like, okay, let me just test $60. And then you basically see, okay, with $60, my conversion rate dropped. I shouldn't do this anymore. And then you basically just leave it at 50 again, and that's it. That's not how it should work. You should be testing a bunch of prices, and I guarantee you didn't just randomly pick the very first price which you came up with as the perfect one. I'm pretty confident that if you test a bunch of different prices, you're going to find one price point which is a little bit better. Are you going to lose customers by charging shipping, or are you going to make an extra couple of dollars from every customer because all of them pay for shipping? These things just depend on your product, on the perceived value of it, and you need to split test it. Obviously, copy is very, very important, but I honestly would say that price, bundles, and all the upsells I'm going to mention now are even more important. So if you can only test like a few things because you don't have enough time, you don't have a team yet, I would highly recommend first testing price, bundles, pre-purchase, post-purchase, and shipping, price, and offer. These things are the most important. After all of these, I would start testing the images and the videos. So the first picture people see on your page actually matters a lot as well. If you see that your bounce rate is super high, which means that if somebody goes on your store and just a matter of a few seconds, they just click off, it might be your loading speed. It might be your first picture. It might be that like there's too many pop-ups or whatever it is. But these things matter, especially the first picture. You need to be testing all of these things on a very consistent basis. And there's a bunch of apps and services which you can use to run A/B tests on everything you do. What does this mean? You get 50% of your traffic onto one page, and then 50% of your traffic who click on the same link are just going to go on another page. These pages are going to be identical except for one change: the price, the image, the offer, the bundle, whatever it is. You're going to just split test one thing, and you're going to see, all right, this one clearly performs better. This is very important. You have to do it like this, especially with organic, for example. I see a lot of people just split testing offers on a weekly basis. So for example, you test one offer for 1 week and then the next offer for another week, and then you basically just see which week went better. But this is not how it works. There's a lot of external factors at the same time. You might go viral on week 1, and on week 2, you didn't go viral, but you had like a smaller, more higher converting video go a little bit semi-viral. And basically the split test is just very invalid if you have different time periods on your split tests. So the same thing as on Facebook ads. With everything, you're going to have fluctuations. Okay, you're going to have a good and bad week on Facebook. And it's just very important that you test things at the same time with these A/B split testers. Now, for example, in our program, we have that as a done for you service, but usually you should start with learning this by yourself as well, because this is an actually very important skill. Usually what we do is we assign coaches to you who are experts at split testing. They literally made millions of dollars on their stores and basically know everything, split tested everything, and just know what works. And how this is going to work is you're going to either have calls with them or with me, for example, and we look over your product page and we just tell you what is off, what to change, what the highest priority split tests are, what the best offers could be, what the best bundles could be, because these things are very similar on a bunch of pages. You need to understand that in the beginning, you're just going to randomly guess. All right, you're just going to randomly throw up a pre-purchase upsell and hope for the best. Well, we tested hundreds of them and we know what works and we don't know what doesn't. And we usually can predict what's going to do well and what's not going to. Keep in mind, nobody's going to be able to do 100% success rate with a first test, but we understand what the highest priorities are. We know we need to test these 10 things and one of them is going to do the best. But the question is, how much money do you have to burn through to find that one? And the answer is just the better you know what is the highest likelihood of succeeding, that's what you start first. And then and then it's going to be much faster till you find the perfect offer, the perfect bundle, etc. Two more things I want to talk about. First of all, product delivery. Product delivery is huge. And it doesn't matter what you do, you need happy customers. Okay? A warehouse is going to help you a lot. We literally have students who own warehouses, which we're going to be able to connect you with. And this is literally handled once and for all. Then you're going to be able to have custom packaging. This is something which is just going to, again, increase the perceived value of your product. But it's not only the packaging, it's also a very interesting thing which is going to happen with that. You're going to be able to send these custom packages to influencers, and influencers are going to respond so much better if you have a proper nice package versus if you just have like a shitty thing with Chinese letters on it. This is something we actually noticed a lot, that the promotions with influencers are so much easier if you have really good custom packaging. And also if you do influencer promotions, throw in something extra. Throw in some like gummy bears or some chocolate bars or something nice, just so the person is actually happy. Make sure you have a custom card handwritten where you're just being nice to the influencer and you just look at their page for like 5 minutes and think of something which you can compliment them on or whatever. You need to make sure that you actually put in extra work with really good influencers, so they're going to work with you a bunch of times, and also they're going to just appreciate that and film that on their stories. We experience this so often where they give us free promotions by just looking at the thing, filming it, and basically reading our card or saying thank you for the extra nice gift. I really appreciate this. These things are going to happen if you have custom packaging. Also, one really advanced thing is improving your product. Okay, this is something which is very difficult to do, but you're going to have to build up really good relationships with your suppliers and all these people to actually make sure that they customize your product. And then all of a sudden, you basically don't have any competition. This is something which most people are not going to be able to replicate. So you're going to be able to scale up your store without any competitors by just implementing this one thing. Again, this is also something we tested hundreds of suppliers. We found the best ones, and you're going to be able to just like instantly get them in our program and not have to search for them for years and get scammed by like a ton of them until you find really good ones. The next thing is also coupon codes. This is something very, very interesting. What you can do is you can throw in a $10 gift card into the package which you send to all of your customers, and they're going to start buying from your store like crazy. If you have a big card, which is going to say $10 gift card, they're going to want to use that card on your store. But if you just say 10% off your next order, they don't feel like they're missing out on anything. If they don't use the $10 gift card, which you literally handed to them, they're going to feel like I'm literally losing $10 if I'm not going to spend them on this store. So they're going to start ordering again from your store. And again, this only is going to work if your product quality is good and all these things. So what you're also going to be able to do is have lower prices from your suppliers. If you have a really good connection with your supplier and they basically understand you're a legit customer, you're going to keep working with them for years, they're going to give you a better deal. you. They're going to prioritize you. They're going to handle all of your packages much better and much faster. They're actually going to do you a bunch of favors if they understand that you're a serious, legit customer for them. And then the last, but obviously most important two things is just happy customers. Okay. In terms of happy customers, how you can measure that is how many tickets you get. So how many emails do you get per day? Obviously relative to your orders. The more emails you get, usually the less happy the customers are. Happy customers usually don't text you. Unhappy customers text you because something went wrong. And you can measure that by seeing how many emails you get. So the less emails you get, the better everything is. But no matter what, you're going to have tickets. All right. You're going to have a bunch of people who are going to reach out to you no matter what. This you have to handle with really good customer support. In our program, we're literally just going to give you really good support agents. They're going to be able to handle everything for like $8 to $10 an hour. And they have all the templates, everything you need in terms of keeping your clients happy. We've already been through all of that. We know exactly what to say in every scenario. And we're just going to take these VAs and place them into your business. If you do this by yourself, it's going to take you a few months until you get somebody who's really, really good and teach them everything you know about customer support. And the last thing I want to talk about is LTV. You need people who are going to buy multiple times from you. Email marketing, SMS marketing, a good product, retargeting ads, are all things which are going to matter a lot. Retargeting ads, for example, is something which people think of as something to get your first customer. But in reality, after your customer bought, in the next 7 days, they're actually very likely to buy from you again. They didn't even receive the order yet, but they're still happy about the purchase. Usually people are excited for the package to come. So in the next 3 to 7 days, they're going to be very likely to purchase from you again. How do you do that? Well, you retarget them with custom ads, for example. You retarget them with custom ads, for example. And how you do that, for example, on Facebook is every person who bought, you put them into an audience on Facebook, and all of these people are going to be targeted by a special video, which is usually doing the best if you have a person who represents the brand. You basically say, hey, I really appreciate you buying from us, and for as a little thank you, we're going to give you this and this. And you basically give them a huge discount on the next order or a gift card or whatever. And also you make sure that the video looks like it's done by the CEO. It doesn't matter if it actually is done by you or by some influencer you hire, but it needs to look like the CEO of the company is thanking you personally. Same thing with emails. You need to make sure that after somebody bought, you give them offers to buy something similar or something complementary to your product. Every single big brand you ever bought from, they're going to retarget you like crazy with a bunch of emails. And this is something which allows them to scale because they get so much money out of one single customer. They can spend way more money on that one customer just because of these things. Same thing with SMS marketing. SMS marketing literally has like a 90% open rate. If you just send out a random SMS to somebody, there's a 90% chance they're actually going to open that SMS, which is ridiculous, but nobody uses them. So you can use that to your advantage and actually make sure that you are doing that. With emails and SMS, we probably tested around 50 people who are running emails for dropshippers, and all of them sucked until we found one guy who is the best person I've ever seen in my whole life at emails. He literally is able to give you an extra 20 to 30% revenue boost on demand almost every single time just by placing him in your business. What that, for example, means is you make 1K a day and instantly, all of a sudden, you make $200-300 per day, every single day, extra in pure profit after product cost because there's no ad spend, no nothing. You just pay that guy once and then the flows are just set up forever. This guy, I'm literally going to be able to connect you in our program as well. And this is something which is invaluable. These people are so difficult to find. There's a million email marketing agencies, but only a few actually good ones. And it's impossible to tell without testing so many. And this is the general thing you're going to get in our program. You're just going to get vetted people placed in your business if you need them on demand. It's not only emails, it's customer support, it's suppliers, it's warehouses, it's all the team people from here. So editors, creators, research VAs, store creators, all these things, and also mentors who are going to guide you through all the steps to actually scale the business. Now, if this generally sounds interesting to you, this month we're going to take on another 10 people into the program. And if you're interested, you can click the link below, sign up for a call. We see if it's a good fit. Make sure you actually put in some thought into the application because we get around 50 applicants per day. We cannot take everybody. So click the link below and hopefully see you soon.